Hey guys, my first ever 60% mechanical keyboard was the Poker 2 by Vortex. That was even before the Amp Pro 2 1st Gen was released, probably like 4 to 5 years ago. As you might have guessed, I was pretty thrilled when Vortex got in touch to send over their 10th anniversary keyboard. I've had this keyboard for some time now, so let's see what it's all about. Let's go. This unit comes in a very unique box. This all black design looks pretty dope with switch stems on the top in classic cherry colors. Under that sleeve hides a matte black box, and first thing you see when opening it is the keyboard itself in a foam insert. Under that hides a USB-C cable, a few user manuals, and a switch puller. Now Vortex did something quite unique here. We have what is mostly an aluminum body on top, but with a transparent plastic base. The top part looks really nice and has rounded corners with a floating key design. And the underside has a satin finish, and here we have a clear base because this keyboard has underglow lighting, and this helps diffusing the light a bit. There are no flip out feet, only 4 rubber pads so the angle is fixed, and you also get dip switches, mostly to pick which layer is currently used and edited. Finally, there's a Type-C port at the left, and the cutout is in the top aluminum part. Like all of Vortex Poker keyboards, this one features a 60% layout, which I'm a fan of. This layout is NC standard, which means that you don't get dedicated arrow keys, and on this model, you can access them with function plus IJKL. In terms of keycaps, these are PBT with an OEM profile. They have legends on the side and the tops are blank, and the legends are actually double shot, although given their placement, having double shot legends is not as necessary as they don't get anywhere anyway. The font is not the best in my view, but for a set that's included, it's very good overall. Now in terms of switches, as the design of the box suggests, this unit is loaded with cherry switches, in my case, browns. That can seem limiting, but this keyboard is actually hot swappable, and even though the switches themselves are 3-pin, the PCB supports 5-pin switches and the sockets are south-facing, which means that there won't be any interference if you go with cherry profile keycaps like GMK's. This is a very nice feature as you can replace these switches with pretty much whatever you want. Really cool. As for the stabilizers, they are lubed out of the box, but only a dab of it was added to the wire, so it's not super effective, and they do rattle because of it. By looking under the board, we can see that these are plate mounted, so technically you should be able to open the board and have direct access to the stabs, but I believe you might void your warranty since one of the screws on the top plate is covered with a quality control sticker. One of the great features with this keyboard is the LEDs, and here you can customize LED lights on a per key basis with up to 3 layers with custom lighting modes. You first need to select a layer with the dip switches under the keyboard, then PN plus escape, PN plus 0 or 9 depending on if you want to edit rows or single keys, and then PN plus 1 to select a color, and then by hitting keys you can set the pick color to a key or a row. Finally, PN plus 0 or 9 again to quit the edit mode, and then PN plus equal or minus to pick from the row or per key light configuration. There is also a bunch of default light animations with PN plus 5 to 7, and the color can also be set the same way as with the custom lighting modes. The underglow light cannot be customized directly, but it seems to map itself to the current theme set on the top LEDs. In terms of reprogrammability, everything has to be done on board. There is no software for this keyboard. It has to be done on one of the specific layers chosen with the dip switches under the keyboard, and first you need to hit PN plus left control, then the key you want to change, after that the sequence you want, and then PN again, finally PN plus left control to quit the macro edit mode. Technically, it also allows to remap a key to any other key. However, I don't think that the FN and PN layers can be edited. In that case, arrow keys cannot be set to something else than IJKL as an example. So in conclusion, a pretty cool keyboard. The hardware is really nice, from a CNC machine aluminum case with underglow lighting, 5-pin south-facing hot swap switch sockets, and great stock keycaps. The limitations are mostly in terms of RGB LEDs and reprogrammability. Because everything is done on board, underglow RGB lights cannot all be set individually, and custom animations are not a thing either. Same thing with key remapping. While pretty much anything is possible on the main layers, the FN and PN layers are not configurable, and advanced controls like OS functions, media controls, and more cannot be changed. That can be an advantage though, as the settings are kept on board and will work with any device the keyboard is connected to. This keyboard retails for $159 USD, which I think is fair given the feature set and overall quality. I would definitely recommend it for folks looking for a 60% board with south-facing hot swap switch sockets, as that's a pretty rare combo. So that wraps it up for today. As always, I'll have an affiliate link to this keyboard down below. Feel free to use it if you're interested and want to support the channel at the same time. So thanks for watching, make sure you leave a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'll see you in a future video.